A group of teenagers find themselves on the moon and happen to be caught in a meteor shower. Do they stand a chance of survival? Watch the recap of Crater to find out. The film's events happen in a distant future. People have built a colony on the moon and mined different natural resources including helium. All the people live under a giant dome. 4 teenagers sneak into a garage and attempt to steal a lunar rover. They start the giant vehicle, but the alarm goes off immediately. The guys start panicking. We learn that several hours before this, a local woman in charge, Maria Slater, had met with one of the lads, Caleb. She informed him that his father died in a mine. According to the terms of his insurance, the teenager has a unique opportunity to leave the moon and travel to the planet called Omega. The flight takes 75 years. That's why Caleb will have to be put in a cryogenic sleep. Only 3 days separate the lad from the departure day. He recalls how many years ago his father showed him a map with lunar craters marked on it. The lad understands that he has to go there. Our hero convinces his friends Dylan, Marcus and Bonnie to steal a lunar rover in order to get to the mysterious crater. They immediately collect the needed items. Caleb is given an urn with his father's ashes. The teenagers head to the canteen in order to have a lunch before escaping. A lockdown is announced on the moon due to a threat of a meteor shower, but this doesn't bother the guys at all. Dylan suggests they befriend a new employee, Edison, in order to get the access code for the needed garage. The lad goes to the young woman and begs her for help. Edison agrees, but only if the lads take her with them. And we return to the moment when our heroes steal the lunar rover. Caleb disables the alarm. An announcement of mandatory lockdown is heard, but the daring teenagers ignore the threat and embark on their journey anyway. A huge lunar roving vehicle drives out of the dome. Edison brings a souvenir to the lads. This is an astronaut figure, and now a dangerous but at the same time extremely interesting adventure begins. The teenagers take a moment to enjoy the beautiful lunar landscape and then carry on, driving past spacecrafts and huge buildings. We learn the story of everyone on the team. Marcus has a heart condition and has to take pills constantly. Bonnie is neurotic, and Dylan's father left him because of a mining job. And Edison has just returned from Earth and tells her new friends about her home planet. We learn the awful truth. Miners on the moon are real slaves. They have to work for 20 years and only then they will be allowed to fly to Omega. If a miner dies, his relatives have to add the 20 years he didn't complete to their own 20 years. To have some fun, these guys put on their space helmets and get off the lunar roving vehicle. All the lads have orange suits and only Edison has a white one. The gravitation on the moon is much weaker than on Earth. That's why they can almost fly. Also, the Earth is clearly seen from the moon. Edison offers her friends to play baseball, but because of their strong kicks, the snow-white balls fly into space. The young girl is very upset and watches her home planet in sadness. The guys play with oxygen tanks and fly on them as if they were torpedoes. That's very fun, but at the same time it's very dangerous. Anyway, it's more fun than playing baseball. Now it's Bonnie's turn. The lad takes off, but his carbiner detaches. The guys panic and look for a way to save their friend. Marcus grabs one more oxygen tank and takes off to get Bonnie. Caleb and Dylan each grab a tank too and take off. Following Edison's guidance, Bonnie detaches his oxygen tank in order not to fly into open space. He immediately starts descending. Fortunately, Marcus manages to catch him soon thereafter. Dylan and Caleb latch onto him too. All of them fall back to the moon. Of course, it's painful, but at least everyone is alive. Edison suggests that her friends return to the dome, because now they don't have enough oxygen for traveling to the crater. This is when the guys decide to get a few more oxygen tanks. With the help of a projector, they find an old outpost built for the moon's future inhabitants and head there. Bonnie shouts that they can't go there because space ghosts live there, and Dylan makes fun of his naive friend. The conversation almost leads to a fight. Caleb asks his friends not to ruin his last day on the moon, and they finally calm down. The teenagers find the needed outpost and get inside it. Seems like space ghosts really live here. The guys panic and the light turns on immediately. Turns out those ghosts are just regular mannequins. The guys are inside a model of a real house. This is exactly what houses on the moon were supposed to look like. Inside there is air to breathe, and they take off their space helmets. They study each room with curiosity. Dylan admits to Edison that his father couldn't cope with the hard work in the mines and fled to the Earth, leaving Dylan behind. Marcus and Bonnie look for oxygen tanks, and Caleb remembers a conversation with his father. The man hoped to complete his 20 years of work before his son reaches maturity, but he died too soon. Marcus and Bonnie finally manage to find tanks with oxygen and also vast food reserves. Friends arrange a real banquet. They try many foods for the first time. For example, ice cream. Edison tells her friends stories from Earth. Turns out there have always been some wars and millions of human casualties on her home planet. She has a younger brother Charlie, but right now he is flying to Omega along with their mother. Edison is very upset to be separated from her family. Bonnie presses some button and accidentally displays a presentation of the Alpha Project. This is an advertisement for modern houses on the moon. Caleb gets very angry. He understands that the government promised people to build excellent accommodation, but it tricked them and suspended the project. The upset guys immediately destroy everything in the house as a sign of protest. They pillow fight, play baseball, dance, run, shout and have a lot of fun. After that, being tired, they fall asleep. Only Caleb and Edison can't sleep. The lad understands that soon he will leave his friends forever, and the young girl tries to support him. Having rested, the guys continue their journey on the roving vehicle. They have roughly 1 more kilometer to go. However, their transport suddenly halts. Turns out their vehicle's batteries are totally dead. Edison presses a red button. This is a distress signal. The young girl suggests they walk to the crater on foot, and then return to the roving vehicle in order to wait for the rescuers. So our heroes head to their secret destination. Caleb recalls how not long before his father died, he asked him to surely reach the crater and find a brook there. Now they are standing before a huge pit. Seems like this is the place. Someone has dug a tunnel inside it. Bonnie bravely jumps down and everyone else follows. Our teens find a giant glowing cube and head towards it. They see an inscription which says, "The past is never far away," but they don't understand what it means. The teenagers manage to open the door and they enter an underground bunker. There is air inside it. That's why they take off their helmets. They are in a huge room and there is only a small pond and a tree there. Is that it? Edison finds a hidden button on the wall and presses it. At this very moment, the bunker starts turning into an Earth landscape. The teens see a green forest, a blue sky. They listen to birds singing and marvel at the wonderful landscape. Caleb finds that very pond his father spoke about, and at this moment the hologram disappears and the guys see an empty room again. Caleb notices a hidden cache on the floor and opens it. There is a photo of his parents and an urn with his mother's ashes. The lad takes the photo and puts his father's ashes inside the cache. Caleb understands that his father committed a suicide in order for his son to be able to travel to Omega and get a chance to live a normal life. Suddenly, Marcus loses consciousness. The pills for his heart condition are left in the roving vehicle. The guys immediately leave the crater and hurry to their vehicle in order to rescue their friend. Having got out, they see that there is a meteor shower. They run towards the vehicle as rocks fall over them. A big meteor makes Edison trip. The other teenagers reach the roving vehicle, seeing their friend left behind. Caleb and Dylan return to get her. A small meteor hits Dylan's helmet and damages its protective glass. A meteor also hits and shatters the roving vehicle's windshield. The situation becomes critical. Dylan loses consciousness because of oxygen starvation. The guys try to patch the cracks on his helmet and trail him to the roving vehicle. They fall, get back up and keep running, understanding that their lives depend on it. it. Finally, they are inside the vehicle. Dylan is still unconscious, and it's not known when the rescuers might come. The meteor shower persists and the guys slowly run out of oxygen. Edison says that in some time, they will feel drowsy and fall asleep, and most probably won't wake up. Soon the guys really start falling asleep. Suddenly, Dylan regains consciousness. Caleb asks his friend to forgive him for making them come with him, but Dylan doesn't regret anything, because he saw the sky. The lad loses consciousness again. Everyone is asleep. Suddenly, a bright light illuminates them. Rescuers have arrived. Caleb regains consciousness in a ward. An unknown woman tells him that the trip was a success and the lad is on Omega now. Caleb gets up and tries to run away. He didn't even get to say goodbye to his friends. Caleb looks through the window in desperation. The same woman in a white suit brings him messages and letters that he has received in the last 75 years. The lad plays the recordings. He hears the voice of his friends. They all survived. Caleb gets adopted by adoptive parents. From the recording, he learns that Edison arranged a strike and made the authorities change the harsh working conditions for the mine workers. Bonnie became an administrator on the moon, and Marcus set up a baseball club. Dylan and Edison grew up and got married. They had children and later grandchildren. Caleb meets Edison's younger brother Charlie on Omega and gives him the astronaut figure. Caleb tells the boy his story. He told him how they stole the lunar vehicle, how they used oxygen tanks to fly, and how they found the unusual lunar crater. Now a new life awaits them on Omega. Did you like the recap? Then hurry to give this video a like and watch other videos on our channel. This has been the Movie Cat. I'll see you next time, friends.